welcome back. Now you may notice there's an S10 sitting behind me. It's a new project I picked up, and I know what you're thinking. What about the El Camino and the GTOs? Well, since I'm in the process of finding a house and moving, I don't want to get into a complete teardown on those and build them like they should be while I'm in the process of looking for a house and moving, because then I may have to throw it all together, throw the parts somewhere, and then move them, and I don't want to risk losing parts and basically putting it back together than just move it over here to tear it back down. So I'd rather just leave them where they are right now. And this, I figured, would be a good setup for a budget build. That way, a lot of people in today in the automotive world, budget builds just aren't really on a budget anymore. Now this one I'm going to try to do a true budget build on. Now that don't mean we're going to go cheap and cut corners. This just means we're going to try to use our money wisely and efficiently in order to build something nice. Now that doesn't have to be show quality. All it means is something that you can enjoy. Which, actually, I've had a small block and transmission laying around that's been kind of in my way. I had no use for, and it's from a truck that I parted out a while back. So what better than to shove it into this? Now it's not by any means a radical motor, but it will do very well in this little lightweight truck and be reliable, and that's what I'm going for in this: fun and reliable. Now, a lot of times you can find stuff like this little S10 fairly cheap. I see them a lot of times $300 to $800 for ones that aren't running. Now, I picked this one up right around in that price range. Unfortunately, there's no dash, no inner fenders, and no wheels and tires. But where I'm saving for the budget is the fact that, one, it already has a cowl induction hood. Two, it has new shocks, and it has some aftermarket leaf springs from Summit Racing already installed. Also, I got a set of V8 swap headers already for it and the engine mounts already for it. So that saves a lot on a project when you're looking at something. Which a lot of times you can either pick up a cheap project with parts already included around the holiday season when people are needing money, or whenever someone finds a new project or just gets tired of a project they're working on. Such in this case, they had found another project and started this one. Already had it started, and well, this got set off to the back burner and left. So they decided it was time to sell. I saw it and decided, why not? Fun winter project. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it should be a little budget build. And obviously it doesn't have the best paint job since it is a rattle can paint job, but that's okay. Something like this does not have to be a show car or truck. It does not have to win trophies. It's about the build and having fun. So we'll probably just go over it all with the same color rattle can and make it look fairly decent. It'll probably end up looking like a mini-me of the 80 S10 when I'm done, because it already has red interior. In order to stay on the budget, not changing the carpet or any of the trim on the inside, not changing the color. So we're going to leave it red, so I'm going to probably end up kind of matching the 80 S10, but that's no big deal. Now, we'll walk around it real quick, kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Now, overall, it's not a bad looking truck. I actually got a billet grill that came with it as well. Now, the brake booster and master cylinder is still there. They took out the air conditioning, which is fine. They left the heater core. Now, they did cut some of the framing for the steel hood, but I'll go back over and fix a few things on it, make it look better. Now, overall, I got lucky on the body because the body is actually fairly straight. Now, the only thing I've done so far is actually pull some of the good parts out of here. I still got to go back and clean that up, obviously. Interior, it's not horrible. Definitely need to be cleaned. Carpet needs to be cleaned for sure. These seats will either get recovered or go. This little center console could be a nice little touch. It'll need a little work. This also came with a ratchet shifter. That's actually got the plate here that's attached to it now, so we'll put the ratchet shifter back in it. Now, bad part is there's no dash, but we should be able to find one of those easy. They started cutting the wiring, so that will actually probably completely go. The engine transmission I actually got the whole wiring harness for it as well, so we'll probably just go that route. Alright, walked around it. It's not a bad truck. It's really nice. So, and it can be a nice truck on a budget even. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, remember when building something on a budget, bartering and selling old parts to get funds or other parts for your project is probably a necessity. And also things like this, the inner fenders and the dash, something like this isn't too uncommon, and you can still find them in salvage yards, so you can still go find parts for them and you can still go get them, and they're not too old, depending on where you're at, to be in too bad of shape. So if you're up north, probably quite a bit of rust. In certain areas, probably no rust, so that can be an issue in some places. But where we're at, finding a good set of inner fenders and a dash is going to be extremely easy and cheap. So it's not a big deal. Now, I'm not sure what the budget I'm going to put on this is, but I'm not going to put too much in it. I'm basically going to use stuff that I already have to build this truck. And it's basically, I guess, going to come down to the devil's in the details and just making it look cleaned up, make it look nice and be fun. Now, wheels and tires is kind of iffy on a budget, which we're gonna be shopping around and trying to figure out a good set of wheels and tires that I like. Now, sometimes it just, on a budget, it's not always about what you really love. Sometimes it's what you can afford. Such in my case, on a budget build, I'm gonna keep it budget. I'm not gonna go out and order a new set of rims for this. I'm gonna shop around, use websites, find stuff local that I can go pick up fairly cheap, that someone took off because they didn't like them, that I may like or may think look good on this truck, to try to keep it in the budget. So I have quite a bit of things I'll probably do to this and make it a little fun. And luckily with these trucks, usually the rear end gear ratio is fairly good. I think anywhere from 342s to 410s. This one may have been a 410 truck. I'm not 100% sure yet. I actually have not looked into it, but I will. And well, anything 342 to 410 behind a little small block and a good transmission is going to be fun. So I'll see how that is. But make sure you're subscribed and keep watching, because this truck's going to get a makeover and we're going to have a little fun with it. I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, thanks for watching.